All right, a lot of people are curious about how I would glaze my cover jar. This is the one-piece cover jar that I did the demo previously. Today I'm going to show you how I glaze it. Before I glaze it, usually when I fire the lid jar, I would like to fire the body with the lid together. So the contact part, you shouldn't have any glaze at all. To prevent the glaze from sticking on the where it contacts, you need to put some wax, or you have a glaze, you need to wipe it up. But usually I put wax resist in the contact part. The wax I'm using is the plain wax, and I add aluminum hydrate inside the powder. It's very refractory, so during the fire, the aluminum hydrate powder is not melting, so it's kind of create a cushion in between, so it's easier for you to separate the lid and the body. So that's why I usually, when I'm firing the lid with the body together, put aluminum hydrate powder inside, wax resist, and then coat it on. Okay. And also here is the bed that I use the marker to mark circle. So it's easier for you to find a sander if you are not good at tap sandering. So just draw a lot of small circles, so it will be easier for you to place your piece in the center. You will coat it more evenly. For me, it's easy because I could just tap sander, okay? But if you're not sure how to tap sander, this is the good way to do it, okay? Just draw a small circle on the back. Just find a back, okay? And I would put the wax resist on the lid first, because the lid is not level, so it rocks. So using that as a chuck to hold the lid on. Okay. And you want to use a very fine brush that you will have a very fine tip. So that you don't have too much wax going over other place. And I wouldn't use a very very expensive brush for putting in the wax, because the wax is usually ruining the brush. And some people do put it in a boiled water to melt the wax, so that might be an idea how to clean up your brush when it's in contact with the wax resist. And then just wait for the wax completely dry. Usually it takes, depending on the wax, some of the wax is not a very good quality wax. They might take a longer time to dry. Some of the good quality wax resist, it takes like 10-15 minutes, then it completely dry. And after it completely dry, I'm gonna glaze inside, and then I put it back on the wheel and brush the underglazes, okay? Because I have a chattering mark here, and also the carving sgraffito mark here, so I'm not going to put a lot of a glaze. It's just the underglazes to show my design better. Maybe a little bit of a glaze here and there, and maybe on the bottom. That's all. Right, so ready to glaze inside. The wax has been dried for more than an hour. Fill it all the way almost to the rim, and then pour it out fast. Right, and before the glaze dry, just use a sponge to slightly wipe it. Because of the wax resist, actually not much glaze left on the gallery part, so it should be very easy to clean. This one is even better. Nothing on the gallery. For adding the under glazes, I usually have mix 2 bottles of Dunkin' glaze, one in orange color. Okay, in case you wonder what is the number, it's CN052. And then this one. The number CN074. About half and half. Okay, half and half. Usually the under glazes is thick, so I like to dilute it, so by just adding water to it. So to show you, it's very watery. It's like watercolor. Okay, you don't want to have it too thick, because when the underglaze is too thick, it tends to cover the texture completely. I want the contrast, so I just dilute it with water, and it's like a watercolor. Right. Let me center. And since I am firing to a cone 10-11, the underglazes actually get a little bit shinier. A little, you can see the little the sheen reflecting the light. So I'm not planning to put any clear glaze to cover it. Just leave it like that, kind of dry, but a little bit shiny. Right, and then I'm gonna cover with wax resist here to protect the white, because I'm going to dip it in the glaze, and the wax will prevent that glaze going over. So without coat it all the way down here, because I'm going to use my hand to grab the lid and dip it in the glaze, so I don't want to mess up with the wax. Same thing here. Right, so just wait till the wax completely dry, and then I could dip it in the glaze. By the way, the wax I put it on is different from the aluminum hydrate wax. I told you about the powder, adding it into the wax resist. But that one, this one, it's plain wax, okay, no aluminum hydrate. Because aluminum hydrate is refractory. If you have that on top of the glaze or the under glazes, it's gonna melt, and then it's kind of like sandpaper. So make sure you using the right wax. ready to dip the cover jar into the glaze. So basically I'm just going to have a blue color here on the band and also here. And this is the blue color. And lots of glazed beads here on top of the wax resist. And just wipe it off easily before it dries out. On this part here too, I should have put the wax resist here, but it's alright. I can just wipe it up easy. So just go and dip it in. Right, so there's a glaze here. You can just easily wipe it up with a damp sponge. If I put a wax there, that will be easier. Right? The wax is resisting the glaze very good, so that's good. Right, so that's how I glaze my liquid jar. It's very simple with the wax resist. And I will show you the result in my future video. Okay.